Doug Jones' stunning victory over Roy Moore in Alabama, one of the reddest states in the country, giving new fire today to Democrats hoping to take back the Senate from Republicans. One of those is Congressman Beto O'Rourke. He's a Democrat who is challenging Senator Ted Cruz, a Texas Republican, and he joins me now. Good evening, Congressman. Thank you so much. I appreciate you joining us. You're trying to seize the moment from last night's epic Republican loss. You sent out a fundraising letter to your supporters saying, next up, Texas 2018. And you write, if you weren't sure if our campaign to take on Ted Cruz was possible, you have to know it is now. Why do you think Texas is next?
You know, I'm a lifelong Texan, fourth generation. I've been traveling this state for the last year, listening to people all over Austin, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, El Paso, the places you'd expect to see a Democrat. But importantly, in Abilene, in Wichita Falls, in Lufkin, in Nacogdoches, everyone wants something better for our state, and they're willing to work for it, they're committed to it, and they're coming out in record numbers to our town halls, to our rallies, and they've helped us outraise Ted Cruz, the sitting junior U.S. Senator. The first quarter we fundraised, we raised more than $500,000 more than Ted Cruz, and not a dime of it came from PACs or corporations or special interests, just people and the lion's share from Texas.
He is deeply unpopular. I mean, even in traditionally Republican Texas. Why do you sense the time is right to defeat him now?
Yeah, by contrast with Alabama, Roy Moore, a known child predator, had a 41% favorability rating in Alabama. Ted Cruz in Texas has a 38% favorability rating. Hillary Clinton lost Texas by 9%. She lost Alabama by 28%. All 36 congressional districts in Texas today have a Democratic challenger. It's the first time in 25 years. Our state is waking up. Folks know that everything that they care about and that they want in their lives and for their kids is on the line right now. And they're getting off the sidelines and into the game and making something wonderful happen for Texas and something critically important for the United States. But this is a really exciting time to be a Texan.
Listen, I've got to push back here a little bit because there are critics who say that you shouldn't read too much into the Doug Jones winning, that this race was an anomaly because of the kind of candidate that Roy Moore was. What's your response to them?
Well, I'd point them to these favorability ratings. You know, Roy Moore, given everything that everyone in Alabama knew about him, still had a 41% favorable rating. Ted Cruz in Texas has a 38% favorability rating. This is a state, Texas, that is tending Democratic faster than almost any other state in the union. I think only California is going Democratic more quickly than Texas is. And I know it from being on the ground, holding these town halls all across the state of Texas. And it doesn't matter whether folks are Democrats or Republicans or independents, they're coming out. It's like the school teacher in Henrietta, Texas, a Republican who said, if you let Betsy DeVos take my hard-earned public tax dollars out of my public classroom and send it to a private school in the form of a voucher, I'm going to come after you, Beto. She wants to hold me accountable, and I want that accountability. But I had a chance to remind her that Ted Cruz was the 51st vote to confirm Betsy DeVos. This Senate seat matters. And when you have someone who supports Betsy DeVos, or Jeff Mateer, the nominee for the federal bench, who called transgender children part of Satan's plan, who believes in conversion therapy, who even Senator Grassley disavowed.
Listen, I understand all of that, and I mean that's something that Texas will have to deal with. But I just want to let's stick to the comparisons here, and especially for a nationwide audience. And you have to look at the demographics of Alabama. I'm not sure if Texas has the same demographics, but African American voters made up 29% of the vote in Alabama yesterday, with 98% of black women, 93% of black men casting their ballots for Doug Jones. So what lessons do you think should Democrats take from this when it comes to minority voters, not only in Texas, but around the country?
It means that everyone is important, and we can't write anybody off or, importantly, take anyone for granted. Texas is a state that is 41% Hispanic. We have to be within every community and within the communities of our communities. It means that when I'm in Houston, I'm also in the 5th Ward. I'm in Kashmere Garden. I'm in Greens Point. I'm in the places that typically people who are in positions of public trust don't go to be held accountable and to listen to those that they want to represent and to serve. when we show up and we listen and we reflect what we learn on the campaign trail, then we have a chance to earn the votes of those that we want to represent. And people have a reason to turn out. So whether you are Black, Mexican American, Anglo in Texas, I want to represent you, and I'm coming to your community to listen to you and to hear what you think is most important for Texas and this country in your own voice. And then to turn around and make sure that I'm campaigning on that, and once in the Senate, serving you and being accountable to you.
Yeah.
That's the difference between how I campaign and how I serve, and how Ted Cruz campaigns and how he has failed to serve the people of Texas.
Congressman Beto O'Rourke, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.